There are fighters who step in to hit, fighters who step in to win, and fighters who step in thinking they'll never fall. Rodtang was always that guy. Nobody expected to see him fall, much less like that. But fighting isn't about how much you can take, it's about how much you understand. When someone understands your game, it doesn't matter how tough you are, you fall. I was really impressed by the fight between Rodtang and Takeru, right? Takeru knocked out Rodtang very quickly. I haven't seen the fight yet. So now, let's react here to this impressive knockout involving Rodtang, but there's a mystery behind this result, right? And I'm going to break that mystery down for you. Let's now react to this fight, to the action, and try to understand everything about this fight, this knockout. Let's go. The fight happened at one championship in kickboxing. We know that Noam has kickboxing, Muay Thai, a bunch of styles there, and the athletes compete in all of them, so it was a rematch, right? They had already fought once before, right? Later, I even want to compare this entrance, man. This presentation, if Rodtang's spirit is the same, how it's going, what happened behind the scenes back there. Because there's a lot going on in the fighting world, especially with, we know there's a lawsuit going on from one championship against Rodtang. Both of them are studying each other a bit right now, nothing to... Rodtang's energy seems a bit low to me, man. We know they have this tradition of starting off a bit softer, right? He's striking less, showing more willpower, seems like more energy, more desire to hunt. Rodtang is a bit calmer. He strikes a bit more, but without much force, right?
His expression doesn't give you a sense of weakness.
Spiritual weakness. Actually, to me, he doesn't seem well. He's always been a much stronger guy, with a much stronger fighting spirit. And he's much calmer, but less like Rodtang. Rodtang is avoiding chaos a lot. He's circling more, looking for the fight more. We're not used to seeing Rodtang moving backward, right, guys? He's a guy we usually see moving forward. A guy who, man, brings chaos to the fight, looks for damage, right? And right now he's avoiding damage, man. He's backing up, giving space to Takeru, man. That's something we don't see. And later I'd like to rewatch their first fight, man. His left hand is really low, man. Look at that. He got caught over the top of his left hand there, man. He's dropping his left hand after the cross.
And then he went for it.
Yeah, he got hit with a left, actually. He took a left cross. It wasn't a right over his left, no. He took the cross on the way back there.
His guard keeps dropping, so he keeps getting hit with the left, right?
Yeah, his left hand is really low, but we know the guy is really confident in his chin, you know?
Yeah, but he almost went down already, right?
Yeah, look how he's getting hit over that left hand, bro. Yeah, he went down, man. He went down. What is he complaining about, man? Look how he's going in with his hand down on the jab. See, he gets hit over the top. Bam. He took it and already got hit with the hook again. That one was right over the jab. Look, he took one, took two, and on the first one. And then comes the hook. Look, bam, he gets hit right over his jab, a straight punch, but then he takes the hook to finish it off. And the hook is what really landed hard, you know? It's really Takeru's left hook that's bothering him. But the opening comes from above. It's in the overhand, finishing with the hook. He's using his body very little, as we can see, man. You usually see Rodtang. Rodtang, he's a guy who hits with his whole body movement toward the opponent, putting all his power into it. And in this fight, he's a bit apathetic, man. Wait a minute, man. That's strange, not even for a moment. He's actually calling Takeru into an exchange, which is what he's used to, getting the other guy to engage. And moving forward, making the guy lose power and walk backward. We can look at the first fight and see the difference in behavior. There's something going on, folks. It's hard to see Rodtang behaving like this. He's a great representative, a really tough fighter, a guy who usually drops his guard and leaves his chin out for his opponent. He's a guy who does real damage in a fight, and today we're seeing that he gave up that warrior spirit. I don't see Takeru having that much boxing power to deliver such a decisive knockout already in the second round. This is their first fight. This is the first one last year, March 2025. Man, there's a big difference even in terms of behavior. You can't clinch, leg. You can't do a lot of things in kickboxing. Kickboxing focuses a bit more on subjectivity, strike volume. There's a little less focus on damage. Obviously, damage matters too, but there's a slight difference in fighting behavior, you know? The focus on volume is a bit higher than in Muay Thai. In Muay Thai, we have a bit less volume because of the elbows and the clinch. Now, at that time, I don't know if it had already been updated, but nowadays you can't throw any knees inside the clinch. Before, you could throw one, there was still a clinch. Now you can't anymore. Now it's a more open fight. There's no more clinch in kickboxing, and that makes a big difference. That brings a lot of volume, it puts a lot of emphasis on the number of strikes, and in Muay Thai, it's not like that. In Muay Thai, we focus totally on damage because of some restrictions, since elbows also keep the boxing volume low. So there are a lot of things that are restricted there, right? And that brings this difference in the way the fight plays out. Then kickboxing ends up having higher strike volume. Muay Thai a little less. It's more focused on power for a few reasons. Have you noticed the behavior change yet? Did you guys notice? You can already see a difference in his behavior. Look at that. You can already see a lot more energy, man. You can already see him showing the kind of expression we're used to seeing from Rodtang, you know. You can already see the energy, the desire to go to war in there. Just in the way he greets before the fight, in this fight from the day before yesterday, he doesn't show that behavior, that fighting spirit that last year's fight already had. There's something going on, guys. Look at that, my brother. Totally different, man. Look at the difference, guys. Look at that. He stopped right after the first little tap with the front leg. Now he already caused more damage. He even shrugged off the shot Takeru landed on him. But now he's coming in much stronger, moving forward, calling him out, gesturing. Look at that, not backing up. You see, totally solid. He brought that warrior spirit we're used to seeing from Rodtang. Look at that, look at that. Man, galera. Guys, it's undeniable, man. There's something behind this knockout that we're not, but let's go. Intentional or unintentional, I've been through this in a fight. A fight, an argument that happened during the week leading up to my fight, a huge energy loss, and then I went into the fight, you know, and that really affected my behavior during the fight, and we know that he's going through a moment where he's being sued. But then this morning, guys, Pedro Rodriguez brought me this information. He changed his manager. It's the first fight with this manager. Many years ago, Buakaw, who was also managed by this same manager, was also knocked out by Sato in a fight where we knew Buakaw was hardly ever knocked out, and he was knocked out. Not taking anything away from Sato, who had some of the best boxing in K1, but let's check this out, guys. Analyze Rodtang's mindset, how he behaved differently. Especially at the beginning of this first round. From the first fight to the second, his will to win was very different. Could he have been knocked out by Takeru? Yes. We saw that in this first fight. There was even some contact there. But he gets up right away. It was nothing, man. It was nothing. That's the Rodtang we're used to seeing. You know, a guy with a strong chin, with determination. He came back and knocked him down again. Look at that. He didn't even back up. That's Rodtang. You get it? A guy who puts his whole body into it. You see how he jumps into knockout? Bringing all the energy from his body, pulling energy from everywhere, bringing an aggressive boxing style with all the power his body can have. But in this second fight, we see a lethargic Rodtang, a guy with no energy, a guy already completely dominated by his opponent, no will to fight, okay? So his behavior was quite different, and we know that a lot can happen in an athlete's life. But look at how different he is now. Look at how he jumps. Bringing all the power. He takes Takeru's shot. He takes it. But man, he doesn't even care because he trusts his chin and he brings the war. He's always looking for chaos. He thinks that way. I'm going to hit as hard as I can. If you can hit hard too, let's see who hits harder. Man, he didn't do that in this second fight, you know?
So it's the defining moment of the rematch.
Go ahead, put it up so we can check it out. But look at that. A very apathetic Rodtang, just playing defensively, not bringing any chaos. Look at how he's hitting differently, man. Look at that. Totally apathetic, man. That's not the Rodtang we know. He's acting so differently, man. There are several factors. That's why I tell you guys. It was intentional. It wasn't intentional. He's going through a rough time in his professional life that reflects on his personal life. But look at that. What a strange thing, man. That's not the Rodtang we're used to, guys. It's not, you know. This different behavior of his isn't even just in the fight. It's already showing in his entrance. His expressions, completely expressionless. That guy who likes it, who makes faces, the whole warrior thing, man. And now he didn't bring any of that. Even Takeru is bringing it. You can see he took over Rodtang's spirit, man. Strange. Very strange. When I got the news this morning, I looked at Pedro and said, damn, I can't believe it, man. We know that every champion reaches their end. No one is going to stay invincible. No one forever. But Rodtang is very young, and we see a big difference in behavior there. And I ask you to leave in the comments if you agree with my analysis. That wasn't the Rodtang we're used to. He didn't have the same energy. He didn't have a warrior attitude. Guys, he's being sued by one championship for violating contract clauses. He's being sued for $17 million, guys. So it's a pretty high amount. It was for multiple contract clauses.
Contract violations, public statements, and disputes over the validity and understanding of the contract. Rodtang claimed that he had signed the document without fully understanding it, including due to a language barrier. He also mentioned that he couldn't read English and questioned the fairness of the situation. After that, One and Rodtang reached an agreement to resolve the dispute, allowing the fight with Takeru to take place, so that it could move forward. According to the Thai press, this happened because of an arrangement with Rodtang, who became a free agent. Before fighting Takeru, Rodtang battled the organization, demanding millions for breach of contract and saying he signed without understanding the situation. And then it turned into a soap opera. In this case, the case is ongoing over there in Singapore.
Anyone who saw Buakaw fight knows how tough Buakaw's chin is. For example, Andre Dida versus Buakaw in K1 World Max, where Dida knocks Buakaw down twice, and Buakaw, my brother, gets up. He manages to turn around a fight that for many people would already be lost. My brother, he finishes with an incredible fighting spirit, moving forward and taking down our champion Andre Dida. A fight, man, that's still iconic to this day. And then he faces Sato, where that spirit, guys, was reduced to nothing, and he got knocked out. This beginning of Rodtang's two fights, and we make this behavioral comparison, right from the handshake, right from the introduction. Where he tries in the second fight there, the guy keeps throwing that little front leg kick and moving backwards, something we don't see Rodtang do, stuff he's not used to with a new manager. A legal case involving a really big amount of money. $17 million is a very high amount in the fight world. How many years has Rodtang been around? 28 years old, guys? He's still a kid for today's world. We know that 28 years old 20 years ago. In Thailand, a guy who's 28 is already an elder in the fighting world. They're already thinking about retirement at that age. There's something behind that. It definitely wasn't a normal Rodtang. The Rodtang we know doesn't fight moving backward. He's a guy who takes hits and gives them back. He likes to bring chaos to the fight. And he hits using his whole body. This time we saw him pretty apathetic, hitting without much power. Without drawing all the power from the ground toward his opponent. This time we saw a pretty apathetic guy. Leave a comment with what you thought. And let's go. Thanks. Subscribe to the channel. Oh.
Bora 1 milhão.
Let's go for 1 million. It froze. Damn, what a dumb knockout. That knockout wasn't Rodtang.